Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Let's bow our heads in reverence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come before you with praise and thanksgiving on our lips. We thank you for an abundant mercy and grace that you have begotten us again on this great day. Thank you, O Lord, for being our living hope, our shield, our buckler, and our battle axe, as justice will be rendered in this city. And as the chosen administration, that you would strengthen us to work to move this city forward in prosperity for the glory of God. O God, we pray that you would bless the servant leaders that has been sworn in today on the steps of City Hall to serve and protect your people. Heavenly Father, we are grateful that you have heard our supplications by faith, and you have answered our prayers by providing us with the new Iberia Police Department to serve and protect. Help us to conduct our meeting with decency and in order. And Lord, we bless your mighty and precious holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez.
Present.
Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Here.
Thank you. Public comment? We have no public comment cards, so I'll just ask you to silence your cell phones, and we'll move on to item 2.
Acceptance of the minutes of the June 5th, 2018 meeting as published on June 14th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilwoman Guidry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you all. Item 3.
Persons to address the council. First, we have a presentation of the new Iberia Police Department employees by
Chief.
Chief Todd Dalbor.
Chief, it's your floor.
All right. Obviously, what a great ceremony today. The turnout from the community and members of our leadership was one that's very humbling. This process, as you know, has been ongoing with the mayor going out and getting support of this community, support bringing the city police back, and then the last six and a half months of putting our team together. So there's no greater day that we get an opportunity here to introduce some of our staff. We have all 3 of our divisions with professional standards, CID and patrol with their lieutenant and sergeants, their rank and file, basically. So give you an opportunity to meet them, kind of hear a little bit about them, and then our immediate staff. And I'll kind of start with our staff knows is our backbone of that, and that's Miss Adelia Mercier, who is the Secretary of the Police Chief. She's the person. Adelia does it all. Just make it easy. I mean, I know the mayor and members of City Hall know that when you want to get information through or take some city business, she is the go-to person. And I tell you, she's extremely good at it, very organized, and I am happy to have her on our team. I know my staff feels the same way. She does it all. So we thank her for being here, but Adelia is our Secretary of the Police Chief. When you call in, she'll be the person that answers that phone. Next is the Assistant Chief, Brandon Williams. Brandon, as you aware, came over from Louisiana State Police, served upwards of 12 to 15 years with State Police, and was a part of the old New Iberia Police Department before disbandment. And he comes here with a wealth of experience. Prior to leaving state police assigned him to the DEA task force. We're talking about a ton of knowledge and a ton of experience, and he has been absolutely invaluable with the things that we've done over the last 6 months. I know the mayor knows a lot of it because he's with us through the whole process. But just instrumental in being able to accomplish what we have today and what you saw today at the ceremony. So Brandon Williams, our Assistant Chief. Major Michael Barnett. Michael comes to us with obviously a ton of experience. He worked as a major with the Sheriff's Office for many years, and also worked with the former New Iberia Police Department. Just that knowledge of the city residents, the people here, and just a wealth of knowledge and some administration. And he has been, again, similar to the Assistant Chief, a very valuable member of our team. You know, when it comes to sometimes getting a direct negotiation with stuff, he's been very, very valuable. I think most of the members, you see them kind of smirkling that he's, you know, he's a get it done kind of guy. You know, and he's been valuable to our team, and I'm happy to have him aboard on the team. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Captain Seth Pelram. Captain Pelram, one of our humbled people, and I tell you, when he speaks, and he spoke the other day and went on at length with our entire department and spoke very well about his division, which is professional standards. Professional standards is internal affairs, evidence, and training. And you know, and he spoke well when he talked to the group that it's not a headhunting group, it's an accountability group. It's a group that helps the officers progress. Whether that officer needs training or whether that officer needs some guidance, that's what his section's there for. So if I could, I'm going to get him to step up real quick and introduce his sergeant of his division.
So my sergeant is Sergeant James Andrews. I'm gonna wing this. But yeah, this is my sergeant James Andrews. I actually, when Chief asked me if I'd be interested in coming aboard, Andrews was the first person that I thought of to come in with me in professional standards. We have a very like-minded training mindset. We believe in some of the same philosophies of training that we want to implement here at the city. Another thing too is he's very accountable, and in order for us to hold other officers accountable, we need to hold ourselves accountable also. And that's what I like about him. So I think he's going to do really, really well for our agency and for the city.
And a little history about Seth. Seth worked narcotics back in the Iberia Sheriff's Office in the previous administration before this one, and spent over 10 years at Broussard Police Department, where he headed up their evidence and standards division over there. So he comes from a load of experience from Broussard Police Department. Next captain will be Captain Corey Porter. I brag about this guy because Corey comes with an extremely wealth of knowledge. This is a guy that spent 5 years at the New Orleans Police Department, spent 11 years at the Houston Police Department, and then 3 years in the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office, where he prepared homicide cases for indictment. You know, you're talking about a wealth of knowledge. He is going to be head of our Criminal Investigative Division, which is our detectives, juvenile, and narcotics. And I feel strongly that his knowledge of how to prepare a case, how to make sure that all information is there, and how to communicate with because what we liked about, where he endeared with the mayor and I, we discussed him coming aboard and offering him an opportunity, and he accepted, which we're, you know, happy to have him aboard, is that his community philosophy. He believes in walking the streets. He believes in engaging the community to get the community involved and relate to the people of this community, so that way we can come united and stop the us versus them mentality and all become one. So we'll give Corey an opportunity to introduce members of his section.
Yes, good evening. My lieutenant is Lieutenant Leland Lassiter. Lassiter comes from Abbeville Police Department. He's kind of familiar with the area, and he's been working detective in Abbeville for, I think, 5 to 8 years now. And he's worked on a couple of gang cases in which we got a couple of gang members in Abbeville off the streets. And I know he'll be able to bring that same intel here to help us in New Iberia. Sergeant Deja Hughes. She is standing. Sergeant Hughes comes from Iberia Sheriff's Office. She's been there 5 years. She's grown there extremely. If you talk to anybody at the Sheriff's Office, I think she was the best that they ever had. I think coming from New Orleans and talking to people in the community, one of the things they asked me is like, who you got coming over? And I think they said, well, you got Hughes coming over? I said, yeah, I got her. And she's been working in the community already. So that's a person that I think that's going to help us solve crimes and work in the community to help with my philosophy, working with the community, getting to talk to the people to resolve some of these crimes that we got. Thank you. Sergeant Bergeron? Bergeron. He's over my narcotics, and he's been working narcotics in Jennings. So he was one of the Chief's good boys in Jennings that we was able to get. And he has a good understanding about narcotics. And it takes somebody with that kind of intelligence to come forward from fresh, to come here to get on the street and know how to tackle narcotics in a city like this. And I applaud Chief on getting him on board, talking with him. He's already ahead of me of things that I want to see get done, and that's what I like about him. And I said we're going to do well in investigations, and I think we're going to like, you guys going to like the results.
Thank you. Captain John Babin. Captain Babin comes to us with Captain Babin comes to us with 34 years experience from the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office. Can't say this guy oversaw Metro Narcotics in Lafayette, has been over the crime scene unit, has done public information. He's pretty much a guy that's extremely well-rounded. Talented administrator, knows how to communicate with people. Again, this is another part of what the mayor and I had talked about for a long time about community policing. We want to make sure that we had people that can relate to the community, that can have a conversation and be able to know that when you talk to this person, that they're going to respond and be approachable. And it may not be the answer you always want, but it's going to be the truth. You're going to have some integrity behind it. And both Captain Babin and all of our captains, all of our staff, you're going to feel that way. You're going to feel like you can approach and ask a question. And Captain Babin comes with just a wealth of experience that probably would take me too long to go over. So I'm going to give kind of floor to him to introduce his lieutenants, and then they'll go maybe lieutenants to sergeants. So,
Thank you, Chief. Well, like Chief said, I'm pretty much well-rounded. I'm not as well-traveled as. But what I'd like to do now, I'll introduce all my patrol lieutenants. Then I'll allow them to bring up and introduce their sergeants. I'll start with Lieutenant Mark LeBlanc. Mark comes from the Youngville Police Department. Then I have Lieutenant Ryan Boutte. Lieutenant Boutte comes from the Abbeville Police Department. Lieutenant Jude Lemaire. Jude comes from the Sheriff's Office here in New Iberia. And Lieutenant Stoney Penn, also from the Sheriff's Office. Now, what I'd like to do is just allow them to introduce their sergeants.
Hi, everybody. All right, sergeants I'm going to be working with. We have Sergeant Daniel, Ellis, mind blank. Ellis. And Sergeant Derek Rock.
Hello, just thanks for the opportunity. My sergeant's going to be Sergeant Chris Lanche and Sergeant Eric Oye.
My two sergeants will be Sergeant Cassidy Duhon and Sergeant Chad Benoit.
I'm Lieutenant Penn. My sergeant's going to be Sergeant Greg Pete. He has 17 years with the city, 2 years with Lafayette, and 10 years with the SO. My other sergeant is going to be Roland Leger. He has 4 years with Franklin PD and 7 years with IPSO.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I just want to close out by saying that the lieutenant sergeants, they're going to be leading the troops in the streets. These guys are the front line up in the Iberia Police Department, so let's give them another round of applause. Oh, I'm sorry. My canine officer. Rusty, I'm sorry. There you go.
Put me on the spot.
Well, we forgot you, so we have to.
How we doing? Rusty Moore, I'm the sergeant in the K-9 division with the police department. I come from the sheriff's office. I also came from Abbeville Police Department before then. I got 15 years of law enforcement experience. And I have 7 years of handling K-9s in law enforcement between Abbeville and the sheriff's office. So with that being said, I'm in K-9 training right now to bring a dog to the streets the second week in July. So my goal with that is to put added protection to the officers and the public as soon as we can. So that's our goal, and we're trying to bring it to y'all as fast as we can.
This process obviously has, you know, we've spent, and obviously lieutenants and even Captain Babman, they've come together and they're learning about each other, and so they're kind of winging this today. So kind of, you know, as time goes on, they'll you know, be able to tell you a little more, and obviously when they get out in the community and start serving you. What I'm very proud of, and I know that the mayor and I kind of speak the same language there, we're a very diverse group. You know, I made a commitment. I got asked a question by a certain council person about what we're going to look like. We're going to look like we're experienced and we know what we're doing. And we're going to get the most talented people here to serve you and serve our community. And that's what we have. We have the most talented people. It didn't matter what they look like. It was that we want to make sure we got qualified people to come out and serve and promote our philosophy of community policing. So we're here to make you proud. We're going to work to build your trust every day. And we're going to bring our community together. So thank you all very much.
Thank all of y'all very much. Madam Clerk, item 3B.
Willie Bergeron from CLECO to discuss hurricane preparedness.
Mayor and Council, thank you for allowing us a few minutes of your time today to talk about hurricane season. As you know, June 1st started hurricane season for us, but CLECO does not start preparing on June 1st. We prepare and plan all year for what we hope will never happen. At CLECO, we have 21 storm teams, and every employee has a storm assignment, whether it be restoration or filling in other jobs while employees are on assignment. We are all working. As part of our preparation for storm season, we contract with outside resources such as additional lawn mechanics, tree trimmers, etc., so they can be in place should a storm make landfall in our service area. We have agreements with other utilities nationwide for mutual assistance, so we can pull resources from neighboring states should the need arise, so that by the time a storm strikes our service territory, we already have crews on the ground ready to begin restoration. Once conditions are safe, our lines are patrolled to assess damage levels by both land and air. We also record customer calls. Next, our transmission and distribution lines are repaired. Power is then restored to critical community services first, such as hospitals, nursing homes, police departments, etc. Power is then restored by circuits, trying to restore the greatest number of customers in the shortest amount of time. Customers can view our outage status on our website through our outage map. It is updated every 5 minutes, 24 hours a day, all year long. It details outage locations, number of customers affected, reasons for the outage, and estimated restoration time. We know that CLECO is ready, and we want you to know that CLECO is ready, that we will be working quickly and safely to restore power to you as fast and effective as possible. We have some brochures for hurricane preparedness that Steve has in the back. He's going to leave in the back for you guys and for the people here. And it has our website information, has emergency numbers, has emergency broadcast stations that you can listen to any storm damage or any weather-related outages. And we have that there for you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move to item 3C.
Pass to Zachary Mitchell to address the council on progress and update for District 6.
Well, good evening to the council, and
Good evening.
it is a fine day in New Iberia. I think it's historic, and I'm just excited as well as everyone else is. I know you may feel like you need more attention because usually I'm showing up with all kind of folders and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't give you one. You know, we've killed a lot of trees. But the real bottom line this year is I didn't come to give you anything. I came to get something. Amen. I came to get the commitment from the council, and let me just say this from my heart. I don't know how the council felt when we first started this. I can tell you how I felt. I felt like you guys were politicians, and you were trying to do what's right. But I really felt that way. I felt that you were genuinely interested, and I'm just being straightforward because I mean, why change now after all this, after 6 months, okay? But what I've seen that has happened over a period of time is that this council really has matured with a heart for this community, a true open desire to help, to know their district, and to know the city. And I think the real key is, and I hope the momentum continues, is that some of the community is beginning to see that they have a seated council, a mayor pro tem as well as mayor, that really genuinely care about this community and is willing to make the decisions, whether easy or hard, for the betterment of New Iberia. They see you involved. They see you that you are part and you're ready to implement whatever it takes. And there are some people out there, and many of them are proud of what you've done, and I include myself. I'm very proud, and you deserve a round of applause. Thank you. And so, as we go forward, I thank you for your commitment as we went to each one of your districts. We're in District 6 with Mr. Swear, and our prayer walk was extremely successful. We assembled on the corner of Iberia and Henry Streets and commenced to go down Johnson and Rosier and Hortense, as well as Allen. And if you know anything about that area, those streets are dead-end streets. So we covered the longest prayer walk that we had done so far, 2.8 miles. So it was a stretch, and I thank God also for Councilwoman Sherry Guidry. I was almost successful in selling her car, but she came back on the scene because she kept getting out and leaving it parked. I was going to sell it, but she did a great job, as well as Mr. Swear and the trailer and driving the trailer, as well as being engaged with the people. Just a tremendous thing. And so we now look forward to all-night prayer this Friday night from 10 p.m. to 2. And then we look on our last boots on the ground, which is going to be this upcoming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2. And both those events are going to take place at Word of Hope Church, 705 West Admiral Dahl Drive. And we're going to finish up this part of the plan. We've already been asked, what are we going to do? We've known, and I'm almost done, we've known two things that we desperately have to do. One is we must stay on the streets. We must stay on the streets and keep that contact with the people. but two, we must pray. We are fighting forces that you cannot see. If you believe what the Bible says, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We don't. There are ideologies and schemes and all sorts of things behind what's going on in our community. They manifest themselves in, solid things of various different things that's going on, but there's something driving it. And that's the part that we look to have been addressing and will address. I want to encourage you, council, that you made some commitments to the effort. We will go forward in July with the two events that we had planned. July 7th, which is the crusade, and July 23rd through the 27th, which is the camp. And so we are just extremely thankful for the opportunity to serve this city. And I hope I can come back again to update you and give you the plan for the rest of the year. And we're ready. We're on board. It's our city, and we're going to keep it our city, and we're going to grow it. I just want to say to you one last thing as I go to take my seat. If you're a football fan, I go way back. I used to love the Oakland Raiders because I had a cousin play for the Oakland Raiders. His name was Warden Wells. And there was a year with the Oakland Raiders that they had four Heisman Trophy winners, 4 on one team, and they couldn't even make it to the playoffs. And the reason why they couldn't make it to the playoffs, because they had too many individuals. See, it's not the team that has the best talent that wins. It's the team that plays best as a team. Because winning the city is a team thing. You can't get into the eye. The mayor can't do it without you guys. Police department can't do it without you guys. Can't do it without our community. We can't. But I know of for sure, and I'm telling you, this is a deep conviction in my heart that we're winning this thing. This thing it's not winnable. We've won it. We just have to walk it out. Thank you guys tremendously. I'll just kind of wait to talk to you after the meeting, but thank you again from the bottom of my heart. God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do. All right, Madam Clerk, item 4.
Recommendations from the Planning and Zoning Commission. A recommendation to approve the request by WIC Communication to revoke immovable property that formerly comprised Port of Lewis Street South, hereby released by the Department of Transportation and Development as shown on the right-of-way map, state project number 823-46-0004, Lewis Street Improvements, Iberia Parish, by J. Weston Mott, PLS, dated January 24, 2018, contingent on the party receiving the area acknowledged in a recorded document that the area is acquired subject to any existing public or private utility servitudes or utility improvements, whether those are reflected in recorded documents or not, and whether those are apparent or not.
Do we have a motion?
Motion. Second.
A motion by, I think it was Councilman Lewis, and a second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion on this item?
Mayor, I have a question.
Mayor Pro Tem.
On the little plat you showed us, they highlighted where that piece of land is, and it's all green space right now, okay? So what we're voting on is to let WIC Communications have that land,
Yes.
and the land was not bought to, the city didn't buy it, given to us by the state, is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
So,
And it was taken from landowners when Lewis
Right.
Street was done.
Right.
And we have a state statute that lets us give back property for a road.
So right now, those signs that's on that green space, prior to tonight, they didn't need permission to put signs there? You know what signs I'm talking about on that corner? They always got signs advertising, that you can. So right now, the WIC Corporation,
Probably those signs shouldn't be there right now, if you wanna know the truth.
but now the WIC Corporation can,
They'll be able to police
Approve
that.
it or
and control
police it,
Correct,
and
it'd be private property, so
And then-
those signs will likely leave unless WIC would want.
and then we wouldn't be cutting that grass.
And we wouldn't cut the grass, yes, sir.
Okay, but that little space that's still connected to Lewis Street, we still would be responsible for?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Great, I see our city attorney, I'll get to everybody, but I see our city attorney has his hand up.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
about 100 years ago, that area from Bayou Teche all the way out past down the Ball Drive was granted to the parish for road purposes. And then when the city annexed the area, it became city property. And then the state came, put a highway right away on top of it, and they're letting that go. So it remains a strip of city property dedicated for a street. There's a little island, if you will, kind of on the corner that
Yeah,
you're talking about.
right, correct.
They're working, I know the WIC people are working with DOTD to acquire that too, so there won't be anything cut off. But what the state law says is if there's a street that's abandoned because it's no longer needed for public purposes, then it belongs to the adjacent landowner. So there's no price, we don't decide who gets it, we just decide, do we need it, yes or no? And we've done this over the years many times when you've been around.
Right.
And because this particular area has some utility rights of way that we were worried about, we think Lawco's in there, Clico's in there, city sewer's in there. And some of those things, you don't have recorded right-of-way documents because the city didn't get a right-of-way from itself. Clico had a franchise agreement, so it's not a typical landowner situation. We just wanted to make sure that when WIC took the property back, they accepted it with all those improvements there and agreed not to disturb them. And I've been talking to Bert Sestry, who's working for WIC, about the details on that, and he and I spoke again this afternoon about it. And we're gonna work out an agreement where they acknowledge that, and they're gonna say, we'll take it, subject to that, won't disturb it. But the council's decision recommended by, and this was recommended by the planning commission, the council's decision is really, do we need this for public purposes, or are we gonna let it go? It's really the question.
Any other discussion? Justin?
I have a question.
Councilman.
I understand, yeah, it's costing us money to cut the grass. The reason why we gotta be keeping up the land and somebody else can do it. The question I have, to make it simple, so all the right-of-ways for utilities or sewer, those right-of-ways will still be in place?
Right.
Yes.
So whenever we have to go in and do something, there's gonna be no, I guess, red tape.
Right, nothing like what we're doing with some of the drainage
Exactly.
issues in
So
your
that's the
district.
question I have.
Yes, I know that, yeah.
I don't want any red tape if we gotta go up
I
and do a
understand,
project.
no, we will
Well,
retain that.
We're gonna keep what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we had to come through and tear it up all over again,
Right.
we'd have to get the permission to do it.
Right, but to
Go
maintain
beyond
what
where
we
we
have,
are.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have sewer lines
we
there.
have a lot of stuff there.
All right. Just wanted to clear that up.
No, it's good.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machine. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, 4B.
A recommendation to approve the request from Highland Baptist Christian School Board for a parking variance consideration relative to the construction of the new two-story classrooms and removal of two temporary buildings in consideration of the City of New Iberia's Code of Ordinances, Appendix -A zoning, Article 5, off-street automobile parking and loading regulations, Section 5.1, general requirements 5.101.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Swear and a second by the Mayor Pro Tem Dahl. Do we have any discussion on this item? No discussion? Please vote your machine. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, 4C.
A recommendation to approve the request by Christopher Turner, owner, to rezone a 1.173 acre tract of land located on J. Allen Day Drive from R-1 to R-2.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Now we go to item 5.
Public hearings. Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance amended Chapter 38, Health, Sanitation, and Property Standards, and repealing Chapter 55, Nuisances and Property Standards of the Code of Ordinances for the City of New Iberia.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry and Councilman Lewis. Do we have any public comment? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry and Councilman Lewis, thank y'all. Madam Clerk, 5B.
Public hearing on introduction of an ordinance to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Iberia Parish Law Enforcement District for the housing and maintaining of prisoners of the city of New Iberia in the Iberia Parish Criminal Justice Facility.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Broussard, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any public comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Councilman Broussard, Councilwoman Ledbetter, thank you. Got a team thing going. Madam Clerk, 5C.
Introduction of an ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-08, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to amend budget for Louisiana Main Street Grant Award and carry forward fiscal year 2017 available budget for Church Alley project.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any public comment? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry, Councilwoman Ledbetter. Now we move on to item 6. Thank y'all very much.
Ordinances, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Health, Sanitation, and Property Standards, and repealing Chapter 55, Nuisances and Property Standards of the Code of Ordinances for the City of New Iberia.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Lewis. Have we any discussion?
So Mayor, after
Yes, ma'am.
we vote on this tonight, our nuisance laws are gonna go in full effect?
Yes, ma'am. All that hard work you did and the committee did and Ms. Ledbetter did on hers, when we get to hers, these things go hot, which is good. I know that our community is waiting. We have a long list to catch up. Yes, sir.
So we can start tagging vehicles?
We can start doing a lot of things. Now, remember, public, please, we have a list and we have put this off a month, so the list is pretty long. But we will begin diligently to knock out the list, and all of you will remind me if we skip something on the list, and that's our job. Any further discussion?
Some of our city police
Yes, sir.
will be involved.
Yes, sir, when they go hot, they will. We have added that to the list of things that they need to do for us, yes. Further discussion? Well, let's get our city back to work. Vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 6B.
Ordinance to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Iberia Parish Law Enforcement District for the housing and maintaining of prisoners of the city of New Iberia in the Iberia Parish Criminal Justice Facility.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Broussard, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion on this ordinance?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did we ever come down with what was the actual number per person?
$30
Yeah,
per
it was
prisoner,
pretty-
same thing we're paying now.
Same thing,
The
okay.
sheriff,
That's one of
we negotiated that, and the sheriff was generous.
For 2 years.
For 2 years, we have the same amount we're paying now.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Any further discussion? Vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 6C.
Ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-08, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to amend budget for Louisiana Main Street Grant Award and carry forward fiscal year 2017 available budget for Church Alley project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 7.
Introduction of ordinances and budget amendments. Introduction of ordinances and set for public hearing on July 3rd, 2018. An introduction of an ordinance for budget amendment number 2017-2018-09, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to amend budget for mid-year activity.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Sweer. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, 5B.
Introduction of ordinance for
7B, I'm sorry. Thank you, Natalie.
budget amendment number 2017-2018-10, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2017-2018, to amend budget for LCDBG projects 1 and 2, and for the remaining balance of the DEQ 2016 SRF loan.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry and a second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion on this item?
Mayor, can
Yes.
you just kind of give us a brief synopsis on what we're about to vote on? please?
Yes, I'm gonna call Vince Palumbo up because he handles these projects for us. Vince, if you can just give us a real quick kind of synopsis of what we're doing. I know I saw you. That's the main reason I called you up. No, I'm picking on you. This is on the DEQ, the SRF fund.
It's going to be to repair the levee at the other plant around the equalization basin. That's the majority of it. There's some hydraulic capacity issues in the Acadian Acres area. Also the Silver Street area we're going to investigate and try to fix. There's a pump station in Squirrel Run that needs some attention. That's going to get addressed. And we're actually going to buy a standby portable generator for emergency purposes to jockey around station to station. So it's going to help us out in those instances. But that's what those dollars are going to be used for.
Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you, Vince.
Welcome.
Vince is handling quite a lot of projects for us right now. We have a lot going on. And as he walks away, yes, Vince, good job. Any further discussion? Great, please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 8.
Resolutions. Resolution authorizing settlement between the city of New Iberia and Roy Williams for delinquent property taxes and demolition lien on property located at 112 and 113 Renee Street, New Iberia, Louisiana.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Guidry. Is there any discussion on this item? Yes, ma'am.
If I may ask kindly, if our lawyer can kind of tell us a little bit about just a quick synopsis without giving too much away.
Okay, did we talk to Mr. Schwing about being here tonight?
I sent an email to the secretary.
Does the council have a letter?
Kind of like a threatening letter.
Yeah.
Nope.
Wait, a letter?
Yeah. Back of your packet, at the end, there's a letter.
The council, if you'd like to hear from Mr. Schwing, I think it'd be fair to defer this if you want to hear his side of the story. Okay? This is a property that has a very confusing title if we go back in the records, because there were some transfers of half of the property that didn't get picked up by the assessor's office, so the tax rolls never got changed. There were some errors in those descriptions, and if you read the letter, it sounds very confusing, and it's an accurate letter because the title is that confusing. So what happened was, this property, even though part of it should have been sold off and shown on the assessor's record separately, it was all assessed as one assessment until fairly recently. And the other part of the property was the subject of a demolition action, and taxes didn't get paid on the property. So we have been going back and forth about this for months. Mr. Schwing has said, I'll pay this money to get this property released from these city problems, that is the tax sale and the demolition. And I've said, well, you know, how much can you pay? So we've gone back and forth, and this is what his guy is offering, is this $1,090.88. I think we'd have a difficult time with our lien at this point for reasons I'm not going to go into. And the taxes do include taxes on this property and the other property that it was stuck with, even though it should have been assessed separately. So it is a confusing mess. I think the only thing that's on this property is a shed. I believe that's all that there is now. It's not a very valuable property. It's not assessed for very much. I I can pass around a photograph from the assessor's website if y'all want to show you what there is. I really kind of expected him to be here this evening to make his case, but he is offering to pay this amount of money. If he doesn't pay this amount of money, what's going to happen is it's just going to sit. Because I guess he could file a suit to get us to release the property, and we could litigate this thing, and we could spend some money. He hasn't really threatened us with a lawsuit at this point, but he's trying to work out a deal where he can get this little piece of property released from these issues for $1,000. And if you'd like to hear from him, we can defer it. If you'd like to take action on it, it's fine. I don't think we really have a practical way of getting much more than this for this property, just because I don't think it's going to sell for very much through Civic Source or anything like that. And I think our lien is pretty difficult to enforce at this point. But it is a very confused situation because the assessor didn't pick up the property change. So the problems on the other property, it was all assessed as one property. So all the tax sales affected both properties, all the demolition affected both properties. They have finally gotten the assessment changed, I think, as of 2017. But it's a mess.
Okay, I'll go around, Mayor Pro Tem.
I think, Jeff, since there's no building really except a little shed on the property, and I know how you are and respect your opinion, that I think the quicker we get rid of this, the quicker the expense will go away, and the quicker somebody might not get more involved rather than the people we're dealing with now. So I think it's a good thing, but I think, as you said, there's not much there. I mean, what are we going to fight for?
No, there's not much there.
No. Yeah. I think
Civic Source sales, we're going to have a bunch of fees.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's instead of, we don't need Mr. Swing here. I mean, I trust what you say. You met, you got the letter.
Yeah,
I don't think postponing is really needed.
No, and I've done some, I have done some checking on the history of the property, and you know, we hold a hard line when things went the way they were supposed to go and the processes were followed. But there were mess ups here that are not the tax office's fault, not Mr. Schwing's fault, but they didn't pick up the changes in the ownership, so this got tagged with the property next door, and I think this is just the best way to clean up this mess. So this would be in exchange for our releasing any claims that we have against this piece of property on the corner, very small piece with a shed on it.
Councilwoman Lopez?
I just wanted to put on the record that I'm in favor of settling.
Good, thank you. I don't vote, but I'm in favor of settling because we're going to take that money and we're going to put it to demolitions. Anyway, not to influence anybody. But if we do, we have been selling property. Our clerk has been keeping track, and we are building up that war chest for demo, and this would be a perfect example of $1,000 that certainly could get allocated toward demolition. Yes, sir.
This isn't my district, and I do know Mr. Roy Williams, so he does, at this point, he doesn't own it.
He owns it.
Technically he owns
it.
But we have a lien against it.
We have a lien, and he's got tax sales. And I'm not really sure he's got 100% of the ownership yet.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. He bought from a bunch of heirs.
Okay.
And it's really confusing. But I think he's got the tax assessment on it.
Okay.
He's working to acquire anything he doesn't own. But we have a lien and we have some tax sales. And what we're gonna do is just say, for this amount of money, we'll release whatever rights we have. Good luck to him to do something with it.
And it's fair to say it puts him in a better position to own it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely in favor of it.
It's not doing us any good.
Definitely in favor of it.
You know, and
Again,
we
like
need to
you
get these
said,
things
man,
back into commerce.
Get $1,000 back in the kid to tear down some of them houses. Not far from this house.
Any
this
further
property, should I say?
Yes, sir. Any further discussion?
I just want to thank our city attorney for explaining that. I wasn't quite clear about the letter, so I appreciate you shedding some light on it. Thank you.
Good. If there's no further discussion, please vote your machines. Great, thank you. Item 9, items for discussion. We have none. Item 10, councilman remarks. I'll start with Councilwoman Lopez.
have really like announcements, but I guess I presumptuously assumed that we were going to be able to go back and forth with the chief after he introduced everybody. I don't know who else felt that way, but I was like,
I know something.
I did. I kind of thought we were going to like, I don't know. I was just so excited.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying I was like excited to see everyone here. I guess my major remark is that, I worked in criminal law here in Iberia Parish for, 13 years, and I've seen a lot of police reports. I've dealt with a lot of the officers, and, a lot of the guys I saw here tonight are former IPSO employees, and I would just like to hope and encourage our citizens to not categorize them by that. They're on a new team, they're with a new family, so if you see someone that used to be with IPSO, whatever impression you have of that department, please separate that deputy, that sergeant, that lieutenant from that department, because we're going into a whole new era and we're trying to start clean. I saw some really cool guys tonight, not the big dogs. The ones that are my age really aren't the big dogs, because they're my age. It takes, you can't get that big this young, not normally, I guess. Y'all know I like to talk, but we got Roland Leger, we got Chris Lantier, we got Stoney Penn, we got Jude Lemaire. I mean, these are some guys that I have worked with one-on-one for years, and some really, really good people, and I'm proud to see them. I'm proud of what we've developed, and I just really hope that our citizens, like I said, wipe the slate clean and see these guys for NIPD officers, because that's what they are now. And I just hope and pray that these guys remain humble, and that our citizens really, really try to respect them as much as they can, because not everybody can walk the walk of a police officer. That's it.
Thank you.
I was gonna say no comment, but
Y'all get sucked in.
Now you gotta stop me.
Now you gotta go.
No, I've said serious. I've never clapped for police officers that much in my life.
Ooh, that was good.
And look, from the neighborhood we from, we don't clap for police officers. But it felt good. It felt good. It felt good. You know what I mean? We have to grow, and we have to change, and we have to progress. And we definitely have to work with this police department. And I embrace them, and I encourage my community to embrace them, because we definitely need them. I've talked to a lot of people in the community, and I'm gonna just be honest with you, even guys who've been to jail, been to prison. And to hear those guys say, "Man, Marlon, we need the police." It's a good thing, So, and not everybody in my neighborhood is not everybody in my community is criminals. We all know that. Great people come from my community, attorneys, educators, you name it, we got them. And we just want to see this community, this town, come back to prominence. We have a lot of work to do. I'm looking forward to working with this police department. My best efforts will be to be a community resource and a community liaison for this force. That we can change things, and like you were talking about the property, bringing it back into commerce. And if we have a safe neighborhood, we know that we can bring some properties back to commerce, possibly bring some businesses back to our community, as well as people coming back to live in our community. And that's what I'm looking forward for. And it was really a great thing to do be out there today. I was telling a friend of mine, it looked like a scene from a movie today, watching those guys in those nice uniforms and going through the proper protocol of getting sworn in. And I was grateful to be a part of that, and definitely looking forward to working with them.
Thank you. Good to be.
It's a great day for New Iberia. See the amount of people that showed up for the swearing in, Mayor Decoy. I think we can add to it by the Crime Stoppers. Saw Mr. Bowrow's in here earlier. Talked to Errol Babineau, part of the Crime Stoppers. They're throwing it by. They could come every other month, give us a report on some of the crimes that they want to put on that projector right here, and they'll go around the 3 parish area. It's good to put the high quality, the ones that are on the books now, that they need to look for people. I think we can add to it if the Crime Stoppers come every other month and give us a couple of crimes they're working on. I think we can get the public involved. So if you want to ask them that, right, or if you put on for discussion for next meeting or so, I appreciate it. Or just call them and see if they can come every other month. could be an asset to the area to see what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was, learned something from the chief a few weeks ago, is that, you know, the NIPD is here to help, not to hurt. You remember that, chief? See, I did pick up something from that meeting. And as you know, and I say, you know, you have the tendency of, a word around town, don't speed, don't do this, you know. But if you're breaking the law, you shouldn't be doing it. And I catch myself putting my foot on the brakes, no matter if I'm speeding or not, when I see a police officer. But, you know, that is something that I think we need to have back, is we say community police. And I was here prior, and there was no community. It was almost a threat. And I think it is a difference. Anytime you do anything in the community, Mr. Zach or anybody, us, it's gonna work. But you gotta have patience, you gotta have confidence, and you gotta have respect. And I know we need to respect the law officers just like they gotta respect us. And a lot of that was lost in the years, and I think that's a big part of making things work. Is if you have a problem, you know, stop the police officer, don't run. Make them your friend. You know, I think going to school, having those police officers in school makes the younger kids appreciate this is someone that can help me, not hurt me. Because right now, some of the homes that people are in, the parents sometimes not the model parent, and they make the kids scared of policemen because some things that they do. And I think, you know, I got all my weight and sweat behind it. Me and the mayor is like, you know, we've been through a lot, but this is a really lot. And but I wish the best, but it takes a good leader. I mean, like the mayor is with us. I've been here the longest. I went through some leaders, not as great. But it's just like a chief and his staff. You got to believe in them, and I think starting that way is going to make it work out. So thank you so much, Chief, for that little information that I picked up from you.
Councilwoman Ledbetter.
Okay, I want to also welcome the NIPD. You look like you have a great team, Chief Dalber. The community, I hope, will work with you. Like you say, you have to gain trust and work on that every day. Also, I want to announce we did have some employees from CLECO talking about hurricane preparedness. There'll be prayer service for the hurricane season at St. Edward Catholic Church on tomorrow evening at 6:30. So come on out. And so far, we've been prayed up, and we've had, yes, we have been prayed up, and we haven't been harmed by hurricanes in the past few years. So come on out and pray for that will continue on this season. Also, Neighborhood Watch for District 4 will be Thursday, this Thursday, June 21st, 6 o'clock p.m. at the Slyman. And you will see some of the new NIPD there. So come on out and meet some of them and talk to them and ask some questions. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Guidry.
I just wanted to, I was getting a little concerned about Mr. Dan over there. I was going to ask someone to turn off his mic. He was going good to, no, I'm just playing.
I was really
No,
nice.
he was good. I just want to thank the mayor and the chief, the chief of police and the assistant chief of police, and this entire police department for all the hard work. And I know it was a lot of work that was involved in this to get this done this fast, and also to all the long hours that they've spent working on this. So I say, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And also, I'm truly humbled to see what went on today, and also to be a part of this season. It's a season known as a catalyst for change, and that's what God continued to give me. So number one, to be a part of that. Number two, to be a part of this new administration. And number three, now presently, the new Iberia Police Department is here. And I welcome you, and I thank you. Also to Chief, I'm glad that your officers accepted the Macedonian call, is what we're calling it. This is a biblical term. And also, too, I pray that they all were placed in their proper positions so that their gifts can shine for the glory of God to serve and protect our people. And also, too, as a representative of District 5, I'm looking forward and I'm willing to work with you as a liaison in your department to help us get some things done. And again, I welcome your department and I'm grateful that they're here. And I just want to let you all know, and I don't know if you realize this, you all are in the spotlight. And I got to tell you, I'm excited about that, okay? Because I'm here to prove some people wrong, but you know, we're going to leave that for another day. Yeah. And then my calls will stop coming. But the other thing is, too, you must realize that as new law enforcement that we have great expectations for you. And I believe that you're going to change the face of law enforcement, not only in our city, but in our parish and in our nation. So I believe that is a great Macedonian call, but I believe you're actually going to change the face of law enforcement. I'm putting it out there for you. I hope you accept the call. Okay, and I just want to say God bless you all, and thank everyone that's a part of this department, and they're here to protect and serve. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Swoop. Yes, sir.
It's your turn, sir.
Before I praise the chief some more, I need to make one comment. I've been getting a lot of calls on animal control and what to do and who to call and all these things. We've had seen quite some issues with animal control, and I want to give out the number to any of the public that would like to know the number. The number is 364-6311. And the reason why I'm doing that is because people don't know. They don't know who to call. They call the council. I'm more than happy to put people in the right direction, but I'm not the animal control officer. I want to put them in the right direction and let you know what to do, how to do it. And like I said, the number 364-6311. And I'm glad we're working with the parish on this, and it's something that we need to do for a long time. But I think that's something we can talk about at a later date. All right, back on the NIPD. Chief, I have to say this, man. I'm proud. Today was a great day. From a true Cajun, I had the frissons when I walked out and saw all the cars and saw the officers and saw just the whole surroundings of what's taking place. I mean, we're making history in Iberia. And Mayor, I want to thank you. I know we thank you enough, and we thank you a lot all the time, but I truly want to thank you for all the hard work that you have put in to making this happen, along with the chief and everyone else. I come from a law enforcement family. Like I've always said, you know, my grandfather was one of those from this very department, and I'm proud to see it come back. I mean, it's something great, and I am emotional about it, but you know, I know you're going to do a great job, Chief. I really do. And like she said, we're going to prove some people wrong, and maybe those calls might stop.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
But once again, thank y'all, and God bless all of you, and have a good night.
Thank you.
I have one more thing.
All right.
I was going to call you pastor.
That's above my pay grade.
I spent a lot of time in church. Forgive me. Okay. Pastor Zach, you made a statement earlier about you thought we were all politicians. I respect that, sir, and I'm glad that you was actually honest about that. But we all know that I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant. You know, I leave the politics up to the politicians, but I'm a public servant. And I thank you I wanted to take this time to thank you for everything you've done in all the districts as a public servant and a pastor. And so, again, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, now we come to my announcements. And
short, sweet.
Yeah, and polite tonight. I got to thank my council. You know, today was a great day. Today is a great day. We are moving in the right direction. Could not do any of this without all of y'all. We came together a year and a half ago. We have gelled as a team, but the really neat thing is, from the beginning, we had to have faith in each other. Faith in our system, faith in what we're doing, and we, you know, even before we knew each other, had worked together. For whatever reason, you know, we all took a chance. Because you don't know people until you work with them. You You just don't. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy, but when you sit down at this table, it becomes something new and different. So I have to thank every one of you, because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you, for the actions you took, for backing me up. And yes, I worked very hard. I totally, to the core of me, believe the catalyst to change our community was in front of us tonight. The catalyst to change our community is the police department. We become a safe community, we fix our reputation, we begin to attract businesses, which we already have begun to do, and we're gonna grow. This city will prosper, but they are the catalyst. And among with that, the pastors, the churches that have come together. I started meeting with Pastor Zach and his group before I took office, really, but since January that I came in, the 19 Baptist ministers of the Ministerial Federation have been behind us 100%. And all of these things have come together, but couldn't do it without y'all. Today was today was awesome. That's a good way to put it, because so many things came together. We have a great staff. We've got a bunch of people who are ready to go to work. We got 71 new members to our family today. These people, nobody was drafted. These people came because they saw that we were doing something unique and they wanted to be part of it. People took pay cuts. People have moved their families. People have come from every agency you can name and from many, many cities to come here and join us to do this, because it is that unique. No one gets to build a police department from scratch, let alone do it in 6 months, on time, on budget, let alone without a lot of controversy. That our citizens came together and passed a tax to pull this off still amazes me, So, to the citizens, I thank them. The only other thing I'll say, today was a lot of work, and I have to thank my staff, Public Works, the Parks Department, City Court. People came together. We had Public Works crews and park crews working together, cleaning the parking lot, striping the parking lot, getting this place straight. We gotta have pride in this is our house. We gotta have pride in our house. We redoing signage. There's nothing that hasn't happened. We cutting bushes down, and there was a sign for the CID in the front of the other building, in the Cliff Oakland building, that had been covered by the bushes because it was no longer the CID. So when I saw that, we whacked the bushes down this morning. Now we got a new sign. But everywhere you look, all of our departments are coming together, our staff's coming together, to pull this off, to make this, what it's going to be. This is the start of something good. Oh, our road's not over. We're going to hit some bumps. We will deal with them. We'll deal with them as a council. We'll deal with them honestly, as we always have. But we've got a great staff, and it's just a good day. So I thank every one of you. I'm done. Next meeting is July the 3rd, and I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion and a second. Great. Thank y'all.
Third.